Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm, LLC, offers more value than any other good full-service real estate brokerage firm when it comes to the sale of your home. We offer at least 27 things that contribute to your home selling in the least amount of time at the highest price. To receive our free home selling pamphlet, email us at info@brooksanddavis.com or call 713-665-8329. We also assist people who want to purchase homes or who are interested in getting their real estate license. Visit us at www.brooksanddavis.com.
Are you an inspiring entrepreneur? Or maybe you're an entrepreneur looking to take your business to the next level. My name is LarryWBrooks, and I am the author of Empowering Quotes for the Entrepreneur in You and The Entrepreneur Code. In these two books, I guarantee you there's success secrets that will take your business to the next level. I personally invite you to visit LarryWBrooks.com. Go under the books link and purchase your signed personal copy from myself. You have a great day and have an awesome 2020.
Happy Thursday. Welcome to the Prime Real Estate Network podcast. I'm your host, Ric Davis. If you don't follow me on social media, I urge you to do so at Prime Real Estate Ric. You can follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Prime Real Estate Ric. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in residential or commercial real estate anywhere in the great state of Texas, but especially here in our lovely city of Houston, visit our website at brooksanddavis.com. As always, my co-host is not only a Texas real estate broker. He's a multi-time author, serial entrepreneur, and the proud proprietor of the Pure Hustle clothing brand.
PH.
Holding it down with us on episode 139 in the danger zone is the Texas real estate king, Mr. Larry W. Brooks. What's going on, man?
We get seasonal around here.
Hey, man. Glad to have you with us this week, man. Before we get started with today's show, I want to send our heartfelt prayers and condolences to the family of Mr. Peter Lawrence Pope. This fine gentleman was unexpectedly taken from us this past weekend. He was loved by his friends' family. He'll definitely be remembered. So I want to make sure everyone that's friends, family of Mr. Peter Lawrence Pope understand that our prayers and condolences are sent out to him from everybody here at the Prime Real Estate Network podcast.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Larry W. Brooks.
What up, brother?
What's going on with you this week, my man?
You know what? It's been a busy week, man. Just getting some things lined up. Over at Brooks and Davis, we're working on a couple of big projects. You know, I spend every month I spend a large amount of time going over to Champion School of Real Estate and just talking to realtors about the process of becoming a new agent, how to go about choosing brokerages, and just some of the feedback that I've been getting from them has allowed me and Mike to start to take other steps. And so now we're looking at opening about 2 to 3 new offices before the end of the quarter. So we're excited about that.
Of course, I've always understood how much time you've invested in cultivating that relationship with Champion School of Real Estate. But could you just share with our audience, for how many years have you been involved with the students that are studying there, that are graduating and getting their license from Champions?
You know, the thing is I was actually a student there myself. That's why I went and got licensed to become who I am today. And so that means 20 years ago. Right. And so since then, I've just continued to have that relationship, that rapport. And the one thing that's beautiful about Champions is their staff. They don't have a huge staff turnover. Most of the ladies have been there at least 15 plus years that are there.
Experience is everything.
You go in and when people know you by first name and you know them by first name, it's always a warm feeling. So I consider that a second home.
Absolutely, man. I had a chance to study at Champions as well. I've had a chance to visit with students there alongside you as well as many times. And I can definitely speak to the fact that the relationship that we have at Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm with the Champion School of Real Estate is something that's been going on for quite a long time and is going to continue into the future. So
facts.
I want to definitely commend you for the work you've been putting in.
Yes, sir.
But I want to introduce this week's guest.
Yeah.
Now, Larry, we always give the audience a little backstory as far as what you may necessarily have to go through to get certain guests booked, or how long we've had relationships with some of the guests that we have. So could you give our audience a little idea of what we had to go through to book this week?
So here's the beauty of it. This relationship has always been here. I've had this friend for quite some time. Actually, one of our previous guests, as well as guest host, Alicia Jammers, her sister.
Right.
And so I remember when Jammer was here the very first time, when we were just kind of like ending the show, she was like, "Y'all gotta have my sister on here. This is so so much in her wheelhouse. And I remember thinking, okay, well, there's a time for everything. And at the time, Jen was still locked up in a lot of, I say corporate. I use the term corporate.
Right.
And she hadn't jumped out into this particular entrepreneur space that she had built her career around.
Right.
And so we'll get her to get into more details, but I just say that to say that I believe my little brother actually met them first, met the family.
Well,
first. Yeah.
I can only speak for myself because I know that her and Miss Jammer was always the highlight of the HAR Christmas parties.
Come on, man.
So when we used to hang out, that was the depth of our professional relationship. So I'm definitely over the moon to have her sitting in with us this
I done
week.
spent New Year's bringing in New Year's Eve with them, man. So yeah,
You know what it
most
is over
definitely
here, man, 'cause
Friends of mine for sure.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
So I would like to introduce
Cherished
this week's
friendships.
guest, man. This week's guest is a seasoned real estate professional here in the Houston area. She is the founding principal and CEO of Neema Property Management and Consulting. Our close personal friend that holds it down with us anytime we have that opportunity. I want to thank her for sitting in today, Miss Jennifer Galjour. How are you?
I'm great. How are you today?
Let's pull it together, man. Let's not
Now,
be so casual.
now,
Let's pull it
Jen,
together.
did he get the name right? Did he say it right?
Perfect.
Oh, come
Yeah.
on.
Come
knock
on,
it out
I've
the
been practicing
ballpark, my
all
guy.
week. I've been practicing all week and incessantly for the last 20 minutes.
Come on, man. My guy
Man.
knocked it out the ballpark. So, with that being said, now we want to know where did the name come from.
So, Neema was founded last year, actually.
Okay.
And I was looking for a name that was fitting to me personally.
Yeah.
Because that's my appellation name, which that's another conversation for another time.
Okay. Okay.
But I also wanted to incorporate that into my business because of what I represent.
Okay.
So this name means born out of prosperous times.
Okay.
So as we look at, when COVID was happening last year and it's still ongoing, even though that was a difficult time for a lot of people, in the real estate game,
Yeah.
things are still moving
Still
fast
moving.
forward.
We were
Right.
still,
And
yeah.
so what better for my company and myself personally
Yeah.
to be born during a prosperous time.
Come on now.
So
Preach,
that's
I
where that
love
name
it. That's what
came
it's
from.
about.
No, because there's so many members of our audience that I'm sure are going to relate to your story. So I want to get right into it. Could you share with our audience, from a professional standpoint, what you did before founding Neema?
So before finding Neema Property Management and Consulting, I was a regional director for another property management firm here in Houston.
Wow.
And I've also worked for a couple the larger management firms here in Houston.
Right.
So I started my career in 1996.
Wow.
Started from the bottom, worked my way up to the top into corporate. And it encompassed just leasing apartments. Houston is filled with multifamily units.
Exactly right.
Yeah, my
It
life.
dominates
Right.
the rental housing.
Yep.
So that just became my career. I had no idea that I would fall in love with property management until I was in property management.
Right. What are some of
So
your...
wait a minute, hold
What?
on. 96?
Yes, 96.
Man, you could literally you put in work.
Oh, I put in a lot of work
Wow.
No,
and
because...
some tears.
Yeah, yeah.
No, because Jennifer, what is it that, from a personality standpoint, that you feel lends itself to making you so prosperous at being a property manager? What is it about you specifically that you think made you fall in love with it? Because I know organization is something that is a key to flourishing in that role. Are those some of the things that you just feel like you naturally have, or you had to develop those things to actually get involved?
It actually encompassed a little bit of both.
Okay.
Some things I already naturally have because I naturally love people. Business has always been something that I was interested in, even in high school.
Wow.
I was taking all of the business courses that were offered to us at that time. In property management, you just have to have a certain dynamic personality.
Wow.
Because if you don't love people, you will not be great at connecting with the different type of people that come in looking for a home.
Wow.
So you have to be relatable in a lot of ways. And a lot of people will get in our industry just thinking, oh, all they do is collect the rent check at the first of the month,
Right.
or they're just going around showing these apartments around. But the whole property management aspect is so much larger than that.
Yeah.
And you really don't know it until you get involved in our industry.
Facts.
Absolutely. So from that, with that being discussed, I want to ask you this. When you were actually working in corporate America, what inequity did you see in the market that motivated you to step out on faith and found your own company? Because with so many business owners and entrepreneurs that Larry and I interview, they can always pinpoint something that they saw from a business perspective that just was off and that they felt like, I can fix that. And that served as a catalyst to get them out there to start their own company to fill in those gaps. So what is it that you saw that was a little off when you were working in corporate America?
So what was off for me, and I'm going to start from the beginning when I got into the industry. When I got into this industry, there was absolutely no one that looked like me in this industry.
Facts. 96, girl. That's why when you said 96, I was already like, what? It was a challenge in 01 when I got my license. So I can only imagine like you being on the forefront of it, girl. Yeah.
So that was already in the back of my mind.
Right.
But again, I've never limited myself in anything that I do. So yeah, I'm going to go right in here with the rest of these ladies. Nothing against them, but I wasn't blonde hair, blue eyes, fair skin, but yet I was one of the always a top performer.
Wow.
And I always stood out. So as the years have gone on, I've gotten small promotions,
Right.
but I always wanted to be at the top.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And wanted to find out what exactly will it take for me to get to the top. So when I would talk to my leaders and say, okay, I've accomplished this, I've accomplished that, what's next?
Wow.
And they would give me, oh, well, you need to get this designation or you need to get this designation within the association. I would do that. Okay, done. What's next?
Yeah.
Because I'm seeing everybody else with less experience, less education, do not have the same designations that I have achieved, but yet they were still getting promoted
Wow.
into these higher positions. And I am not the first person who would throw out skin color, race, hair texture, or anything of that nature out there. But at this time, that's the only thing I can come up with.
Yeah.
Is that the people at the top do not represent the actual workers.
Wow.
So I have moved around and I was able to achieve it by going to some of the smaller management companies. But even then, you still hit those same roadblocks.
Wow.
It's like, okay, I made it to the regional director position. I'm ready for VP now. And I've proven that I'm ready for VP.
Yeah.
But yet, I'm still finding everybody else that doesn't look like me is being pushed into those VP roles. And in some instances, I've had to train them. But we won't talk about that.
Yeah.
No,
man,
because I'm sure there's a member of our audience that you're sounding like that little whisper in the back of their own head. They're banging against that glass ceiling, and they don't have a confidant or a mentor like yourself to give them some perspective on their career. So I'm sure there's someone who's going to hear your words and it's going to light a fuse within them that may not just put them on that same entrepreneurial path today, but it'll get them thinking. So I want to thank you so much for sharing.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
And here's my question, Jen. What is so give us an ideal of what property management looks like, right? So I think when some people hear it, they may be thinking that you only talk to people that own rental properties and all you do is focus on that part of it, business to business, or do you also kind of work with the clients, people that actually renting out the apartment units or renting out the duplex units and things like that? How does your day look when it comes to those things?
So first I'll speak from when I was working in corporate America, and my portfolio included only managing multifamily apartment communities.
Okay.
So all the mid-rises, the high-rises, the garden styles, everything that you see around Houston,
Okay.
I would be the person who is over the entire property.
Wow.
Now, I do have my on-site team, the property manager, the assistant, the maintenance team. I am responsible for all those people
Okay.
to make sure, one, that we're meeting the objectives of our investor financially,
Yep.
making sure that performance is there, making sure that resident retention is there.
And retention is important.
Retention
That's
is
that kindness
everything.
they got.
Everything.
Right? That's that
Come
kindness.
on.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
My biggest issue in dealing with multifamily wasn't the actual job. It was people.
Yeah.
People have always been the biggest issue. Finding the right people to do the job that you need them to do on a
And
daily
staying
basis
consistent.
and being consistent with their job. And I'll find that to still be an issue probably as I grow my company, because as I grow, and I will grow, I'm going to need someone to help me who's going to represent the company the same way I represent my company.
That's right. Now, with yours, are you going to be moving forward still in the multi-space where you're going to be maybe managing, I guess, apartment complexes in your own space, or are you going to be doing more individual, like, hey, a realtor has a real estate investor has a portfolio of 4 duplexes or something like that? How will you set yours up?
As of right now, I actually have consciously taken a break from the multifamily.
Okay.
Because the properties that I was overseeing were 300 plus units. I had over 3,000 units at my last company.
Yeah.
That is a lot of work.
That is a lot of work.
I had 70 employees. I had 3 different investors that I report to. And then think about the amount of tenants that you're having to deal with.
You know, I always tell people, you know, you never really understand how precious the property management space is, as well as the people that are doing it day in and day out. Because I used to do property management. I got up to 15 properties and I was outsourcing it. I was like, I can't do this anymore. Just give me a small percentage of whatever going on, and somebody else that does property management focus on it, because I don't think people really can grasp the kind of things that you have to do day in and day out with it. So yeah, I could not imagine. So I commend you on being in that space and knocking it out the bottom.
No, but I definitely will say this though, but because all of those small investors with maybe just 1 unit, 2 units, 4 units, the opportunity to reach out to Jennifer is now.
Yes, that's who I am focused on right now.
No, because what I took from that is that you've grown tired of those large corporate entities, the red tape that goes along with being able to make those decisions as a property manager that you need to make. So I would invite everyone who's a new investor with their first duplex, first maybe 4 units, 6 unit, reach out to Jennifer today. How can someone reach out to you right this second to schedule a consultation?
Absolutely. Of course, Instagram is our #1 platform for marketing and advertising, and you can reach me at Jennifer K. Galjour, and Galjour is spelled Galjour. I also have an email address for my business. It's Jennifer at Neema, NEEMAPM.com, or they can reach me by my business cell, which is 832-964-7510.
Because I thank you so much. You've been so transparent and candid as far as talking about your personal experience in corporate America. When we come back from our break, I want to talk to you a little bit about your life before entrepreneurship and what motivates and inspires you then and what motivates and inspires you now.
Okay.
And have any of those things changed or morphed a little bit since you got into this space. So I want to thank you so much. Everyone, we're going to take a short break to hear from our sponsors, but please stay tuned to the Prime Real Estate Network.
I'm serial entrepreneur Larry W. Brooks, and I'd like to personally invite you to take a closer look at the Pure Hustle clothing brand, along with several books that I've authored to take entrepreneurs, small business owners to the next level of their business. So please take a look at shoplwb.com. How do you survive?
Rent to own is not a myth. Turn your rental payment into a down payment with Divvy Homes and the Prime Real Estate Network. All you need to qualify is a 550 minimum FICO score and $40,000 in annual income. If you've worked your current job for at least the last 6 months and you can prove that you have $2,000 in the bank, your dream of home ownership can become a reality. Please direct message, call, or email the Prime Real Estate Network today and learn more about this exciting new program. Welcome back to the Prime Real Estate Network. I'm your host, Ric Davis. You can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Prime Real Estate Ric. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in residential or commercial real estate anywhere in the great state of Texas, but especially here in our lovely city of Houston, visit our website at brooksanddavis.com. As always, my co-host is the Texas Real Estate King, Mr. Larry W. Brooks. How you doing, my brother?
Hey, no complaints, my man. Rocking and rolling. And for those of you that are joining us or that are with us live on Facebook, I want to tell you we appreciate you, but we also want you to go and entertain our YouTube page. It's theprimerealestateenetwork.com. Go on there, look at some videos. We're trying to get our viewerships up. We have a Patreon page that we're going to start adding some other things in as well. So go ahead and support the channel. You'll be able to see you'll be able to see the rest of the interview there. We usually upload it by Sunday. So we appreciate y'all. Y'all have a great evening, and we'll see you soon.
Absolutely, man. Good shout out, Larry. I want to introduce this week's guest to our audience. This week's guest is the founding principal and CEO of Neema Property Management and Consulting, Ms. Jennifer Galjour. Thank you so much for sitting in with us this week.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here and sharing everything about my newly formed property management company.
Now, one of the cool things that Larry and I try to do on the pod is we try to dispel myths and rumors. You'd be surprised how many things in real estate just tend to linger around us as a business and an entity that aren't always true. And sometimes, you know, when one person shares a secret with another person, sometimes the facts can be distorted. So what are some of the things that you've heard from property owners, investors, landlords, that they've gone through before they come to you for your professional services, that they could have saved time and money if they had just reached out to a professional from the beginning?
I think the very first thing is having the proper software, because they think
Facts.
you're just going to go get a check or have someone Zelle you their rent, which is not the way you want to actually manage that particular business. When you get with a professional management company, we're going to make sure that you have the sophisticated software that is going to properly track rental payments, maintenance history, anything that you need to be able to assess your investment. You know, at the end of the year, how do you know how many times you went out there to check the AC or the plumbing? Do you really know how much money you collected this year? So I provide sophisticated reporting for my investors, very similar to what I did in multifamily, but it's geared towards the individual investor. So I will be able to track all that for you and give you a performance report at the end of the year so that you can make the proper repairs to your investment. Maybe we need to reevaluate the market rate on your home.
No doubt. Especially, and you know, it is, and so it also goes to speak to those. That's the type of information that most of them going to need when dealing with their tax professional or their CPA. So you being able to help them easily access that is even better for them too.
Exactly.
Yeah, they need to know that.
They need to know it, because you won't have to reach out to your CPA for that. You can call your property management company and request certain reports, and I will have that already prepared for you.
Yeah.
I'm sure a vast majority of your clients come to you after they purchase the property, elicit your services. Do you ever have people who contact you before they buy or make the commitment to purchase a single family or a multi-unit or a duplex or a triplex? And if so, how can you help them before they make the purchase?
Actually, I have had someone this week
Right,
reach out to me.
because I'm so curious to see if that ever happens.
It does. In most of my business that I'm happy to say have come through referrals. So a young man was referred to me, and he's in the process of selling a property in another state.
Okay.
Because the housing market here in Houston is so hot, he's going to take the proceeds from that sale, and he wants to buy 3 properties here in Houston for investment purposes only.
Okay.
Perfect.
And of course, he wants me to, because he's in Jersey, so he's physically not going to be here.
Absolutely.
So he needs a management company that he can trust.
Absolutely.
Because he's physically not here to look at his properties.
And some of the things you're going to be able to do for that gentleman include things like?
One, I can refer him to a great realtor.
Absolutely.
To first purchase those properties.
Absolutely.
I'll be able to check on those properties. Again, he's in Jersey. We are in Texas.
And then rental rates are different. You can give him an accurate perspective of what he can expect.
Even just weather challenges.
Oh, wow.
You know, he had questions about hurricane season is coming up. What does that look
Totally
like
different
for
region,
Houston?
right. Absolutely.
Exactly. So there's so many different things that investors do not take into account that a property management company will actually do for you, which is preparing your home for hurricanes.
Wow. And the thing about it is, because so much from a residential purchase perspective, usually those clients are local. But your clients can come from all over the globe.
Exactly.
Which just adds to the importance of being well-versed, experienced, and being able to point them in the right direction as far as who to work with, areas, and how much they could expect. So I'm sure that they look at you as an invaluable resource.
Exactly. And maintenance is probably one of the biggest issues anyone would have, whether it's multifamily or your single family home.
Right.
You have to know who to work with and who to trust. One of the things I can say, being in property management for as long as I have made some really great relationships with maintenance people who have now formed their own companies. And so we have already partnered on how we're going to work out maintenance and getting the proper bids.
Ain't nothing like
it's all about the connections.
Right. Come on now.
Now, when you were a kid, what you want to be when you want to grow up? Because I've never heard anyone say they want to be into property management as a child.
No, I had no idea what property management was as a kid. I grew up, I'm a country girl. I grew up on a farm, 22 acres. I always knew I was going to be bigger than where I came from. Nothing against what I came from, because I love my upbringing. Because I'm gonna go back
Were
to
you
farming.
from Texas?
Yeah,
Okay.
Southern Brazoria County, down in like
So
West
what do we
Columbia.
call that now? Oh, the West
Columbia, Brazoria area.
Okay, yeah. That's
Yeah.
why Jay Jones' them house was out that way.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah, I know, right? They was way out there near you, where you talking about.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So you never answered the question. What you want to?
So in high school, but I told you I was taking a lot of business courses, and I love math and I love numbers. I wanted to be a stockbroker. I always saw myself living in New York, on the trading floor, just making it happen.
That's so crazy. I never even knew about the stock market. Like literally,
Exposure is everything, young Larry. You know how it is.
crazy
That's why it's
yeah.
always so important to expose children to everything.
Yeah.
Now I got to ask you this question, because you can make things seem so easy, and I'm sure when people meet you now, they see you as you present yourself currently. Sometimes that evolutionary process can be undervalued. They don't always get to see where you started and how you've evolved to where you are. So if you had any inspirational words or advice for anyone who's in property management, who feels like they're stuck, who don't really have a vision for themselves in the future, who might not just have that ambition switch flipped yet, what advice would you give them as far as something that they could do, a book to read that could help expand their mind, their vision, and their possibilities?
For me, I would just say, just stay the course. Wow. Property management is such a great industry to be in. Yeah. One of the things when we're in that industry, I never experienced unemployment. Yeah. You're always going to be gainfully employed. 100%. Are you going to be in the position that you want and you know that you deserve? Maybe not, but just stay the course. Because you have people like me who don't have a problem with jumping out there on faith and starting their own. And my vision and my goal is to employ others, because I have a lot of great friends in this industry who are in the same position I was 5-10 years ago. Yeah. And they're all calling me now. Jennifer, I can't wait for your Neema Property Management to blow up. I mean, we're going to be so amazing. Yes, we will. That's what's just give me some time.
Absolutely.
Give me some time, because I want to make sure that the business grows organically and that I have the right infrastructure in place to be able to take on, going back into the multifamily, which is my goal. Yeah. I just needed a personal break from multifamily. But I would definitely just tell them, stay the course, because this is such a great industry. You get so many skills and experience in this industry that you truly don't get in a lot of other companies, because our training programs with our management companies are so awesome.
And I got to ask you one more last question, and I should have asked you this earlier in the episode, but I got to sneak it in at the end. Because a lot of times when your business is heading towards rocky waters, you don't necessarily know that until the boat starts shaking. If someone is a landlord or owns property and they're managing their own 2, 3, 4 properties, what is the first sign that they need to come to you? Like, what is the first sign that they need a professional to look at it? That sometimes the paperwork may get too cumbersome, sometimes checks may get lost. What is an early issue that someone may run into that you could be like, well, okay, I'm glad you came to me now. We might can save this.
I can definitely say, because, again, I've had a lot of people reach out to me with different horror stories that they've already experienced. One, their legal contracts that they're signing, they're using something, say, from Office Depot.
The docs. Okay.
You know what you don't know, though. There you go.
No, because I had to ask you those kind of things, because you'll be shocked, Miss Jennifer, that sometimes people can think they're handling it until the snowball gets so big that they can no longer put their arms around it. Yep. So please, one last time, share Instagram, website, email, cell phone, whatever you feel comfortable as far as letting the audience know how they can get in contact.
No, I want everybody to reach out to me any way possible. I do have a website that's currently under construction. I want this website to be almost perfect, so I'm taking my time with having it built.
On IG, no doubt.
So, but the website will be neemapm.com. Okay. Of course, you can reach me on Instagram at Jennifer K. Galjour. You can also email me at jennifer@neemapm.com, or if you'd like to call me, 832-964-7510.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah.
Mr. Texas Real Estate King, Larry W. Brooks.
Yeah.
If it don't rain on us all weekend, man,
It
what
will
you,
be. It already said
what you
it.
got going on this weekend, my brother?
You know what? I that's a good question. I'll be here in the city, man. I probably hitting a lot of social events. Because it's real estate season, I like to call
Trying
it.
to get it going
Yeah,
again.
I'll be at a lot of open houses. I'll be doing some videos. So if you know somebody's looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, we in this thing.
We're getting it going, man. Well,
Yeah.
I want to thank everyone for checking out this week's episode of the Prime Real Estate Network podcast. As Mr. Brooks just said, if you need to buy, sell, or invest, visit our website at brooksanddavis.com or inbox, text, DM, because we're only a phone call away. On behalf of myself, Rick Davis, everyone here at Sphere Podcast Studios, until next Thursday, be blessed.